All right, guys, you know that I'm a huge fan of the free rig. I just came back from Japan and learned a couple new tricks on what they are using over there. This might change your free rig game. I have in my hand one of those tricks. I'm about to break this down and show you guys a couple of things that might elevate your free rig game. So if you would like to go down the rabbit hole with me, let's do it. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle.
What a stud.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was sick.
Woo!
Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. All right, guys, some breaking news. What's new this week at the Hookup Tackle?
What a beautiful post-spawn fish.
Look at that.
Look at that gut on that.
That's a nice fish.
Was that a good enough tease, Jeff?
I thought it was great.
All right,
honestly.
did my fist look nice?
Mhm.
It was nice, smooth hands.
Beautiful,
Yes.
honestly.
Well, welcome back, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, the Tackle Otaku on Instagram. My buddy Jeffrey the King is with me, and we are talking about a couple of free rig tips that might change the way you think about the free rig. Now, if you guys are not familiar with the free rig, we have done 9 gazillion videos on the free rig. If Jeff gets to it, he'll put a link over here somewhere and you can click and learn about the free rig. If he forgets and there's no link as you're watching this video, which happens from time to time,
Whoops.
you can just go through our channel. You'll find tons of free rig topics, but essentially the free rig is, I'm throwing stuff on the ground already. I haven't even got to any of this stuff yet, and I'm not drinking. You need a weight, you need a hook,
Okay.
and you need a bait.
Isn't
right?
that how like any normal thing
Yeah,
is?
so free rig is going to have more of this round style weight that's going to slide up and down the line, more of a drop shot style, so that you get separation from your bait in the weight so that your bait does some really cool stuff. Now, we talk about a gazillion different baits here when we talk about free rigging. So today, we're going to talk about a new style bait that we've talked about before, but it's starting to gain a lot of popularity in Japan, but not here. So we're gonna bring it up again, and we'll talk about a different rigging on a bait that we throw all the time, and that is a Dolive Beaver. Now, it doesn't have to be a beaver. It could be a stick, it could be a crawl, it could be whatever you want to throw, but traditionally, when we talk about a free rig, we talk about a single soft plastic bait with a hook and then the weight, so that as the bait is falling, as the weight's falling, the bait is having an action. The Dolive Beaver has this kind of dolphin kick, and then as the weight separates, then the beaver kind of turns horizontally and has this fall. You could do this with a crawl, you could do it with all kinds of different soft plastics, but the Dolive Beaver tends to be a favorite of a lot of ours. Now, something that has been added in Japan quite a bit that we are going to talk about right now is the addition of one of my favorite flipping things, but I've never implemented into the free rig until now, and that is a punch skirt. Okay, now there's a million different punch skirts on the market. This is the one that you will find under our brand, the Hookup Tackle. This is handmade in Japan. I'm not supposed to tell the source, but you guys can all figure it out if you go down enough rabbit holes. But the reason why we like this one is that unlike a lot of traditional punch skirts, this one is made with a hard plastic bead, so it doesn't sink as fast as like a metal piece would. So it has a little bit more buoyancy. It doesn't affect the fall rate quite as much of your bait. And what this does is it allows you now to basically free rig a jig. Okay, so here is how it's going to look all put together. You still have your free rig weight on the front. This is still going to separate, but now instead of just having the beaver, you have the beaver and the skirt, so you get the full jig that's going to free rig and horizontally fall and move along the bottom. So it's just an interesting way to prevent something that has more bulk, more body, and this can really be clutch when the fish are looking to feed on bigger things. Not all the time are we, micro free rigging or super finesse. Most free rigging, Jeff has as you know and as we've seen over the years in Japan, is done on casting gear. So typically, if you were, to mention free rig here in the US, you're almost always talking about spinning rods, lighter lines, smaller baits. But in Japan, the free rig is really more of a power fishing deal. It's more of like a Texas rig replacement that kind of comes through cover better. You can fish it a little bit quicker, and this will give you just a really great option. So for a lot of you guys that, are more into power fishing, you're fishing places, like we are, Arizona, Texas, California, places where they like a little bit bulkier stuff. Maybe they're eating bigger craws or bigger bait fish. Adding that punch skirt is just gonna give you a different look and basically allow you to kind of free rig a jig down there on the bottom. So there you go. They come in a ton of colors. You can mix and match it. You can do whatever you want, but a super cool new way to present the baits that we're already throwing is by adding that punch skirt. So let me kind of deconstruct this whole piece for you, right? So just so that we're clear on the pieces, you're gonna need a weight. Now this can vary in any size you want. You can go something light like a quarter or 3/16 if you're going more finessey. If you guys are fishing heavier gear or deeper water, you can go 3/8, half, 3/4, doesn't really matter. Just match it to your gear, right? You are going to need a bobber stop, okay? So this just happens to be the Ryugi combo stopper. You can use whatever stop you want to use. I like this one because it kind of fits the hole really good of the punch skirt. So the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need the punch skirt, right? So this is just going to slide up and down your line. And then finally you're going to need the hook and your bait. In this case, it's an OSP Dolive Beaver. So when it all comes together, you have your beaver and your hook. You slide the punch skirt over. So now you've kind of created the jig. The bobber stop is just going to hold that in place, so it's all one unit, so there's no separation. So the only separation you should be getting is that from the weight. This is still free to slide up and down, and you're dialed. All right, another quick tip to maybe just broaden your free rig presentation is we talk about a lot of craw type presentations, but a lot of times fish feeding on the bottom are eating bait, whether it's shad, whether it's bluegills, whether it's whatever opportunistic meal is coming along. So why are we limiting ourselves to just throwing craw stuff when there's so many good bait fish imitations out there as well? So here's another bait that I think you guys should include into your free rig arsenal, and this is from Megabass. This is the Megabass Spark Shad. Now, the Spark Shad has a very unique characteristic. You can even flip it over on the back and you can see that it has these stabilizer fins on the side in a unique triangular shape that allow the Spark Shad to have what's known as a shimmy fall to it, okay? So what a shimmy fall is most traditional paddle tails, when they're swimming, that tail is going to kick left and right, but then when you pause and you let it sink, it just kind of sinks nose down, or the weight of the hook kind of carries it wherever it's going. In the case of the Spark Shad, when you kill it, as long as it's weighted correctly and you use it as an unweighted hook, when it's killed, this will fall horizontally and it will continue to have a shimmy fall while that tail is kicking. So it's a great one, without the free rig, it's a great one for fishing for suspended fish, because you can literally throw it out there and almost just let it pendulum down. It's going to just shimmy fall all the way down and swim naturally as it sinks. On the free rig, what's going to happen is the weight's going to pull it down, it's going to swim down, and when it separates, it's going to go back to that horizontal fall and just kind of continue to shimmy down. So it's just a great bait fish imitation. The 4-inch is a great size for more finesse presentation. So if you guys are using spinning rods, lighter line, the 4-inch would be killer. If you're going with bait casting and heavier gear, the 5-inch is money. Now, the larger you go with the Spark Shad, the more it's going to maintain that horizontal shimmy fall, okay? So I would really recommend staying in the 4-inch and the 5-inch. Once you go to the 3-inch, there's not really enough body there. The weight kind of overwhelms it a little bit. The 4-inch, you got to be careful. I would stay in like a 2/0 or maybe a 3/0 if it's a light gauge, because if you go too heavy in the hook will overwhelm it and it will just kind of pull it down more like a traditional paddle tail. The 5-inch, you've got much more bait, so it's going to really maintain that horizontal fall, more like that Senko fall, and you can get away with a 4/0 or a 5/0 hook on that and be just fine. But this gives you the ability to really present a bait fish type look to those fish on the bottom. All right, guys, so that is a wrap. A couple of quick tips to hopefully improve, elevate, expand your free rig fishing, try them out. Let me know how successful you guys are on the punch skirt, on the spark shad. Hopefully you guys catch a bunch of fish and enjoy fishing. One of my favorite techniques on the bottom, which is the free rig. So if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Jeff will put links to everything. Let you guys check it out, and we will see you again soon. Peace out, my friends.